Few days ago, you have listened the benefits of Satipatthana. Today you have to listen the qualities of Dhamma. When Buddha appeared, the Dhamma also appeared along with him. And the Dhamma means what the Buddha realized at the moment of his enlightenment, and also what he taught during 45 years of his ministry. There are 6 qualities of the Dhamma. Sakhato Bhagavata Dhammo, Santitiko Akaliko Ehipasiko Opanayiko, Pachata Veditabo Vinyuhi. The teaching of the Buddha is well expounded, and the teaching of the Buddha can be experienced by oneself. The Dhamma can give results immediately. The teaching of the Buddha is worthy to invite one to come and see. The teaching of the Buddha is worthy to keep and carry with oneself. And the Dhamma is worthy for wise people who experience individually. So you have to recite these qualities of the Dhamma, Pali and translation. Open your retreat manual, page 11. Page 11, Dhamma Guna, qualities of the Dhamma. Can you follow me? Sakhato Bhagavata Dhammo Sandetiko Akaliko Ehipasiko Opanayiko Pachata Veditabo Vinyuhi. Follow me, translation. Sakhato Bhagavata Dhamma, well expounded, is the teaching of the Buddha. Sandetiko, self-evidence, can be experienced by oneself. Akaliko, immediately beneficial, here and now, without delay. Ehipasiko, worthy to invite one to come and see through empirical knowledge. Opanayiko, worthy to keep and carry with oneself. Pachata Veditabo Venyuhi, worthy for wise people to experience individually. The 6 qualities of the Dhamma. The first one is Sakhato. The teaching of the Buddha is the best preached teaching. The entirety of the Buddha's dispensation is endowed with goodness in all 3 parts: the beginning, the middle, and the end. There is not even a tiny part that is not good. The reason they are so great is because the teachings are expressed with very meaningful words. The words used to elucidate the disposition of the Buddha are pleasant, graceful, and delightful. They are organized in such a way that wise people cannot find fault and praise the Dhamma. Their meaning brings about true benefits, prosperity, peace, and happiness. There is no part that is not good. It is simply superior. So what are the three excellent parts of the Buddha teaching? It can be defined in this way. Listening to the Dhamma is excellent. After listening, you want to practice, and you practice the Dhamma diligently. Practicing the Dhamma concurrently is excellent. After practicing diligently, you can get the benefits of the Dhamma. Getting the benefits of the Dhamma is excellent. So listening to the Dhamma, practicing the Dhamma, and getting the benefits of the Dhamma are excellent. Because all three of these parts are superior, the Dhamma is complete with three excellent parts. This is the first qualities of the Dhamma, Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo. Second quality is Santitiko. Dhamma can be experienced by yourself. Dhamma is to be realized. Dhamma is worth knowing and seeing for yourself. It means mega, phala, and nibbana. That you see for yourself without taking someone else's words for it. In the Buddha's dispensation, nibbana is the principal element that must be experienced for yourself. If we experience the peace of nibbana, we know that the endless future suffering in samsara will be extinguished. Within ourselves, we clearly know the occurrence of mega and phala that can see nibbana. Not only do we know mega phala nibbana, but when practicing the training that leads to mega and phala, we distinctly see the way mind and matter arise and disappear with our own vipassana knowledge, which previously was just known through hearsay. There is no need to say that what is experienced along the way, from the start of the practice until reaching Nibbana, is also quite satisfying. It is the second qualities of the Dhamma, Sanditthiko. The third quality is akaliko. Dhamma gives immediate results. There is result without delay. This quality is concerned only with the four megas. If you attain Sotapati mega, Sakadagami mega, Anagami mega, and Arata mega, you can gain that akalika qualities. As soon as one of the four mega consciousness occurs, the results, which is Pala consciousness, fruition, immediately follows. Mega is the wholesome cause and Pala is the result. Mega cuts off mental defilements, kilesa, and Pala experience the peace and happiness of being free from those mental defilements. Other types of wholesomeness, however, give results only in future lives. There is a third quality. Another quality is ehipasiko. Dhamma is worthy to invite one to come and see. Dhamma that is worth inviting others to come and try. It means that because the Dhamma is both obvious and extremely pure and clean, it is worthy of inviting others to come and try. Mega, Phala, and Nibbana are Dhammas that can be seen clearly, distantly, and obviously in our own streams of consciousness. Like the full moon shining brilliantly on a crystal clear night, so attractive you cannot take your eyes off it. They are extremely pure and faultless. That is why Ehipasika exhibit the qualities of inviting others to come and try. Even if you reach the knowledge of Udiyabhyanyana, so you are so elated and you cannot keep the kinds of happiness that you want to share with this experience with your friends, with your families and others. In the Mahasatipatthana Sutta, it says, this is the only one way to overcome grief, sorrow, lamentation, to cut off physical and mental suffering entirely, to reach the noble path and to attain Nibbana. This singular way is the four foundations of mindfulness. Now you are practicing, you are developing. This essential teaching displays the qualities of Ehipasika by saying, come, try practicing Satipatthana. If you practice, you will reach the noble path, you will attain Nibbana, cessation of all suffering. If you do, then grief will disappear, physical and mental suffering will not arise entirely. You can have great happiness. There are many teachings within the Buddha's disposition which bear these qualities of ehipasika. Another quality is opaneyiko. Dhamma is worthy to keep and carry with ourselves. Dhamma is fit to be brought to ourselves. Dhamma which is worth embedding in your mind. It means if you do not possess this Dhamma already, it is worth putting forth effort to obtain Mega Phala and Nibbana, leads to extinguishing of suffering, and is truly the greatest well-being we can have for ourselves. What could be more fitting than to achieve this Dhamma? That is why Buddha reminded us again and again how crucial it is to try and get this Dhamma. Just as it is important for a person with a spear impaled in their chest to try to remove it, or as it is important for a person whose head hair is on fire to extinguish it, it is more appropriate for that person who see the dangers of samsara suffering to remove sakaya ditthi, self-illusion, with steadfast mindfulness. So we must practice opanayika. We have to keep and carry mindfulness with ourselves. Mindfulness is fit to be brought to ourselves always. So when we practice the four establishments of mindfulness with steadfast mindfulness, we can reach Megaphala and Nibbana. If you reach the first stage of Sotapanna, Sakaya Ditthi, wrong view of self and doubt will be eradicated. If you practice the method of Satipatthana taught by the Buddha, stage by stage like this, then when these Dhamma become developed, suffering is extinguished and Nibbana can be obtained. And the last one is Pichata Vedidabho. That means the Dhamma that wise people experience and know respectively. In other areas, learned people who are skilled in theoretical knowledge are called wise people when you. However, the quality of Pichata Veditabo is not concerned with those educated people. Only areas, noble ones, who know this mega knowledge are called Ariya Venyu. Those wise area beings know by means of reviewing knowledge that mega imply has occurred within their streams of consciousness, and that they attained nibbana. They enjoy the flavor of nibbana through phala absorption. In experiencing and knowing in this way, they each see their own respective nibbana by means of their own respective mega and phala. So Pechata Veditabo, each in one's own respective consciousness is experienced. So these are the six qualities of the Dhamma. The word Dhamma in Pali language has many meanings. Actually, it can mean almost anything, but today we will use the word Dhamma to mean merits or meritorious deeds. A person who practices Dhamma, who practices merits, who perform merits is called Dhammachari or Dhamma practitioner. Dhamma here means just merits or meritorious deeds in general. So when you practice charity, dana, when you make donation, then you are practicing Dhamma. When you practice metta, you help some people who are practicing, you are practicing Dhamma. When you talk to people amicably with good intention, with metta radiation, then you are practicing Dhamma. When you abstain from killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, etc., when you keep the moral precepts, you are practicing the Dhamma. When you help in people doing good and community work and so on, you are practicing Dhamma. And also, when you are practicing Vipassana meditation and Samatha meditation, you are practicing Dhamma. There is one verse which appears many times in the text and the commentaries, and the verse says in this way, Dhamma hawe rakati dhammachari, Dhamma sujaino sukamawayati, Isani sanso dhamme sujene, na dogadengi chadi dhammachari. That means the Dhamma protects the person who practices the Dhamma. The Dhamma well practiced produces happiness. It is a benefit of the Dhamma well practiced that a person who practices Dhamma does not go to existence of suffering. Dhamma hawe rakati dhammachari. The Dhamma protects the person who practices the Dhamma. So need to remember, can you follow me? The Dhamma protects the person who practices the Dhamma. The Dhamma protects the person who practices the Dhamma. So what means protect? Protect means Dhamma will protect you from falling to the four woeful states. We Buddhists believe that there are many lives. There were many lives in the past. There were many lives in the future. And those lives can be good lives or happy lives or bad or unhappy lives. If we cannot achieve total purification of mind in this life, that is, if we do not become arahants in this life, there will always be lives in the future. And if we have to be reborn in the future lives, we want to be reborn in lives where happiness prevails, And we don't want to be reborn in the existence where suffering is predominant. In order to avoid going down to those woeful states and to be reborn in happy states, we need to do something, or we need to practice Dhamma. The practice of Dhamma can keep us from falling down to those states and help us to be reborn in better existences. So the Dhamma we practice protects us from falling to woeful states. If the Dhamma is practiced with a view to getting out of the rounds of rebirth, the practice of Dhamma can lead us eventually to getting out of these rounds of suffering, rounds of rebirth. Ordinary meditorial deeds such as giving, charity, keeping precepts, and so on can help us to be reborn in happy states, but this cannot lead us direct to the attainment of Nibbana. In order to attain Nibbana and to get out of this samsara suffering, rounds of rebirth, we have to practice vipassana meditation. Now you are practicing vipassana meditation seriously. So vipassana meditation can lead you to that goal, but the meritorious deeds we do in the form of charity, keeping precepts and so on, can help us to be reborn under circumstances where we get the chance to practice vipassana meditation. So the meritorious deeds we do in the form of giving, keeping precepts and so on can ultimately or through some step send us to the opportunity to practice vipassana meditation. So the merits we do can always protect us from falling to four woeful states, and also if that merit is directed towards getting out of rounds of rebirth, it will lead us to get out of rounds of suffering. And Buddha said, Dhamma suceno sukhama vaharati. Dhamma well practiced produce happiness. So need to remember, can you follow me? Dhamma well practiced produce happiness. Dhamma well practiced produce happiness. So now suchena means well practiced, means practice with understanding of the karma and karma result. Buddhists believe in the law of karma. Buddhists believe that there are the results of karma. Karma may be either good karma or bad karma. So the results are also good results or bad results. Buddhists believe in the law of karma, and this belief is not just blind faith, but belief founded upon understanding. With this belief, people do meritorious deeds. When meritorious deeds are done with this belief, they are called practicing the Dhamma in a correct way or practicing the Dhamma well. And also when you practice the Dhamma, you should practice with seriousness, with reverence to the Dhamma. Now you practicing Satipatthana meditation 2 months, not superficially, very seriously, very diligently, with reverence to the Dhamma. So that is what means Sucheno, well practice produce happiness. So if you want to gain true happiness, great happiness, you need to practice seriously, continuously, meticulously, diligently. So when Dhamma is practiced in this way, it is called Suchena, Dhamma well practiced. And the Dhamma well practiced can bring happiness to those people who practice. And practice here, happiness here means both worldly happiness and supramundane happiness. Happiness in this world and happiness that transcends the world, Lokiya and Lokutara, worldly and supramundane. Happiness in this world means rebirth in happy states, rebirth in human worlds or celestial worlds. As supramundane happiness is the attainment of enlightenment. So these two kinds of happiness, the Dhamma well practice can bring. Here again, in order to get the supramundane happiness, we are not to be satisfied with just doing the general meritorious deeds like giving, keeping precepts, but we have to practice vipassana meditation. Now you are practicing this vipassana. And Buddha said that. Buddha said at the beginning of the discourse of the four foundations of mindfulness that the practice of mindfulness is the only way for the purifications of minds of beings. When mind is totally purified, there will be no more craving, no more ignorance for that person, and so there will be no more rebirth for him or her. In order to reach that stage, mindfulness is the only way. So we have to practice mindfulness to reach that stage. Mindfulness practice following the instruction given in the discourses and given in the commentaries will lead us to our goal, which is to attain enlightenment or to achieve total purifications of mind. And Buddha said, Esani sanso dhamme suchene na dogaten gicchati dhammachari. That means there is the benefits of the Dhamma well practiced. That one who practiced does not go to the woeful states. Now that the word Dhamma has the meaning of something that keeps or that holds. So when you practice Dhamma, Dhamma can hold you. Dhamma can keep you from falling down to the four woeful states. That means Dhamma can keep you from being reborn in the four woeful states. When you practice Dhamma in your next life, you will not be reborn in these four woeful states. Now you practice Dhamma, whether it is the ordinary practice of charity and keeping precepts or practice of meditation, you get instant happiness. When you practice charity, when you give something to somebody, you experience the joy of that giving. You are happy that recipient gets something to satisfy him with, and you are happy because you can help that person to be happy. There is one happiness or joy you get from the practice of charity. And the other benefits from the practice of giving is that you are able to get rid of your attachment or craving for the things that you give away. We all beings are naturally attached to the things we possess. So there is always attachment and also worry and anxiety about that properties. When that property or that things is given, the person who give away not the only things, but also the attachment or craving for that things. When craving or attachment is got rid of, your mind becomes clear, and so there comes happiness. So when you do meritorious deeds, first there is joy of doing it, there is joy of helping others, there is joy of getting rid of mental defilements at that moment. That is one kind of joy you get from the practice of Dhamma. The other joy is when you experience or enjoy the benefits of that acts, that meritorious deeds. And it is said that meritorious deeds can bring results in this life or in the next life, or in the lives following the next. Most people think that when they do meritorious deeds, they will get the results in the next life. But according to the explanation given in the commentaries, the meritorious deeds can give results not only in the next life, but also in this very life. So they get results from the practice of Dhamma even in this very life. Among the meritorious deeds, what is the best? Among the meritorious deeds, the practice of vipassana is the best because it can lead direct to the eradication of mental defilements once and for all, or total purification of mind. That is why we practice vipassana meditation. Vipassana meditation is actually mindfulness meditation, keeping ourselves mindful of the object at the present moment. It is important that when we practice vipassana, we see the true nature of psychophysical phenomena. The true nature of phenomena means seeing that Namarupa are impermanent, these Namarupa are suffering, or they are always oppressed by arising and disappearing, and they are insubstantial. It is important to see these three characteristics, nature, dukkha, and anatta, impermanence, suffering, and non-self. Only when you see these three characteristics, where you get weary with mind and matter, and that will ultimately lead to the attainment of enlightenment. In order to see the true nature of psychophysical phenomena, we need to observe that presently arising phenomena. We need to look at mind and matter so that we see it clearly, we see what it is, or we see it, its specification, and so on. And only the object at the present moment lends itself to be scrutinized, to be watched. So those phenomena that have passed and those phenomena that will come in the future cannot be observed closely, simply because they are not here with us. That is why in the practice of Vipassana, the object at the present moment is the most important, so we try to be mindful of that object. Once we see the true nature of the object at the present moment, we can understand by inference that things in the past were also impermanent, and things in the future will also be impermanent. So by inference, we understand these three characteristics of the things of the past and the future. But in order to see directly the three characteristics, we have to observe, we have to be mindful of the object at the present moment. So when we practice Vipassana meditation, we try to be mindful of the present object, we try to watch the present object, try to be mindful of the object is to see it clearly, to see its nature or characteristics, and ultimately to get weary with mind and matter and reach enlightenment or achieve the eradications of mental defilements. So when we practice Vipassana meditation, we are practicing Dhamma. And so we will get the benefits of the practice of Dhamma in terms of happy future rebirth and so on. And if we are totally successful with this practice, then we will be able to reach the stage of enlightenment. Meditator will be able to achieve the total purifications of mind, and so there will be no more rebirth in the future. With the goal in mind, we practice Vipassana, we practice mindfulness meditation, we try to be mindful of every arising mental state that arise in our mind. We try to be what is happening in our body. Actually, we try to be mindful of everything that becomes prominent at that moment. We try to be mindful of every phenomena occurring at the six senses. With the practice of vipassana meditation, we expect to achieve total purification of mind. If we cannot achieve total purification of mind, we will be able to achieve partial purification of mind. Even partial purification of mind is much better than not getting the purification at all. So with that total purification in mind, we are practicing vipassana meditation. Now in vipassana, there are some important things. One is present object. Present is very precious. You need to capture the present to be mindful of the object of the present moment. And the other thing is to pay bare attention to the object, to take the object as it is, and not with any addition of your own, no judgment, no speculation, no analyzing, and so on. If you have doubt, notice doubt, doubt, clearly no doubt. Doubt will disappear. If you feel disheartened and discouraged, notice discouraged. Don't make any judgment. It will disappear very fast. If you sad, notice sad. Don't analyze anything. Sadness will be disappear. And another thing is not to have expectation. It is also important you do not have expectation, because you understand expectation are useful because they motivate you to come to the center. It is not easy to come to the practice. But expectation motivates you to practice. But when you are in the practice, they become obstacle. So we have to avoid them. If you can take care of these three things, when you practice vipassana meditation, you will get the results. So if you want to get the results, you will not get the result because there is desire, there is attachment there. But when you leave desire alone, you leave the expectation alone, and just be mindful of the object at the present moment, and you stay in the present moment, and every present object disappear, and you enjoy being in the present moment, and then benefits will come surely. That is what Vipassana is about. We hope all of you, not only you, not only me, all of us will be able to achieve our goal through the practice of Vipassana meditation seriously. So we have to stop our discourse for today. by practicing vipassana meditation, by observing every phenomena occurring at the six senses, by noting rising, falling, sitting, stretching, bending, seeing, hearing, continuously and meticulously. May all yogis be liberated from all suffering. May all yogis realize the real peace in the very near future. Sadhu, sadhu.